How's it going, boss?
What the fuck is that?
I have no idea.
Smoky. What, what the fuck? Looks like Crayola
Yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah. When you live up here for long enough, you just stop paying attention to stuff like that.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, I thought you were dead.
Oh, well. If only I were so lucky.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
How long has it been since we've seen each other? It's been quite some time, right? Almost a year.
Yeah. Yeah, about that.
Well, I don't think we got to talk about it too much back then, but I'm sure you're well aware now of everything that happened while you were gone. You know, 8, 9 years ago or so now, with Sanguine and myself and Jaeger and everybody. Just I don't know. Things haven't really felt the same since. I thought when we moved back, it was going to be, a good start for all of us, but one by one, myself included, we just kind of kept to ourselves, started hanging around new people, doing different things, and eventually those things fell through. And you know me, if there's not a needle I can move forward, I lose interest very quickly.
Hmm. Yeah.
But to the world for the better part of a year, I might as well have been dead.
It seems a lot of the guild has had a bit of a tough time with things.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
There was a whole thing that was gonna, you probably remember this. There's a whole plan for up north.
Oh yeah.
Believe it or not, I had some involvement. And by that, I mean, I think there was an attempt to kind of involve me.
Yeah, that was the idea. At least that's what Jaeger and I discussed way back when.
Oh.
Of all of our uncles, you were the only one who, I think the thing we respected about you the most was it didn't matter who you were talking to, you always shot straight, regardless of your relationship with the person. Whether
Yeah.
that was to me or to Jaeger or to any of the guild or to Lang himself, it didn't matter. You said it how it was, and you
Mm,
never minced your words with us.
yeah.
And I told Jaeger after everything that happened on Sanguine that we need people that we know, people that we trust, but people that will keep it honest. And you were one of the people who I think was kind of a unanimous decision.
Mm. I didn't know it ran that deep. I only knew as far as some of the things involving Pigeon.
Yeah, I mean, that was I wasn't gonna, sit here and name names, but he was one of the people in the conversation as well. He helped us a lot on Sanguine. So
Mm. Yeah. It's too bad it never came to fruition. I think I think
Jaeger
it came.
loses sight quickly.
Well, I mean, in regards to me coming up north, I think I don't know if you ever found out this, but me and Pigeon had a disagreement. He wanted the name under me because he wanted to sell weed or some shit. I was like,
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. You had a house here with him.
yes, we were gonna do it.
Yeah, I
We were gonna
remember all
do
that.
it.
And that feels like an eternity ago.
Yeah, it was one of those. It's like right out of a movie. We're about to sign the paperwork. It was like, oh, it's gonna
Yeah.
be under my name. I'm like, what? Excuse me. I run a fucking mechanic shop. You want to sell weed on the street?
Yeah.
You,
I think times back then were strange. We didn't really know what was going to happen with the
mm.
city.
The funny thing about it all is how everything comes back full circle. I after a disagreement, I went and bought a house myself down the south side. think like 270, 300, whatever. Right? Because I think Polito is way more expensive. And I ended up moving in with Dex. Dex is my partner. And he wanted to sell just a little bit of weed. And I'm like, that's fine. This motherfucker had so many goddamn racks. And I used to get phone call after phone call, you know? Like, you name it, right? Hey,
yeah, if you remember
Nino.
right, back then, me and Barry, remember Barry? We were giving you calls, giving you updates on shit that we were doing with it because we were pushing real hard up here. I mean, to start, we had this entire area just completely uncontested. You know, we had the ex-HOA up here with us, but they weren't really interested at the time.
Yeah, they were lumberjacking.
Yeah, but how have things gone full circle? Where are things today? I heard that you became mayor.
I'm running for my 4th term.
4th term.
Yeah.
You gonna abolish terms? Are you gonna get rid of them?
There are no terms.
Ah.
I keep winning by like an insane. My 3rd term, I had more votes than my 2nd, more than my 1st.
So you're still effective mayor as of right now?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, look, I said it 9, 10, almost 11 years ago at this point. You'd always be a good politician. Remember when we got that judge charged with a felony? We're the only people to ever do that.
Wait, what do you mean? I probably don't remember my fucking...
Come on, it was you, it was me, it was Tony, it was that judge, Devereaux, the one that falsely imprisoned me.
Oh, shit! Right! Oh, my God. Brother, she hated me.
Oh, she hated all of us.
Oh, my God. It was years until she left the bench. She never did forget that moment.
And you know what's crazy? No one has ever before then and after then gotten a judge charged with a felony and disbarred.
Brother, I went up against Director Justice Swiss Army Knife Angel.
Good Lord.
Yeah, brother. Fucking 5 months. She sent the marshals after me for existing. I'm not even kidding. Fucking 40 reports I got for you. She started changing the law to benefit her and to prevent me from going after her. Imagine that.
Good
fucking
Lord.
Actual tyranny right there.
When that was since we moved back?
Yeah. First, it was I think the term started in like September or something. July, actually. It was July. And she was on my ass till like November. I got Pred elected up north. And she immediately tried to raid his ass. Tried to raid a place that he bought the night before, claiming he knew everything inside. Tried to raid him on a fucking C4. Sonia Summers used to sell weed out of it. Marshall knew about it. Pred buys a place for the county, and they raid her the next day, knowing full well it wouldn't have been his shit.
It wasn't, yeah. That's, you know, the more things change, Nino, the more they stay the same. I remember when I moved here, you told me a very valuable piece of advice, which is that I don't know what city you moved here from, don't know what cities you've lived in, but however you think the law works, that ain't how it works here.
Yep, very true.
Been mayor for almost a year straight. God damn. How's that treating you?
It's fucking ass. That's all the disciples run in the fucking place. They don't believe in democracy. Yeah. They don't believe. They think everyone's a felon. They don't even entertain the notion that that the people's opinion should matter. I say this genuinely. We have laws. They keep breaking them, but the problem is that they know that it takes the government to come in. These people don't even show up. They just fucking make these decisions, make everybody miserable. I've watched just this month 4 to 5 gangs fall apart because they've made the fines so bad. It becomes not a matter of like rehabilitation. It becomes a matter of like compliance until, like, I don't want to say they fucking fine you till you can't wake up type shit. And I wish I was joking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things. Back when, you know, you're an exonerated man under the eyes of the law these days, but you know how it was back then, man. You shot a cop, you were behind bars for 30 years.
Oh yeah,
So
not wrong.
people just ain't doing time like that anymore, man. Sanguine, you know how long Jaeger and I were in for Sanguine? Long time.
Oh, see, I'm
And
only.
then
Mm.
if it was, 7 years later, lo and behold, Jaeger and I find out we could have just walked out of the place.
Wait, why?
I don't know. I heard something about people getting charged with murder or whatever and just walking out.
Talking about Lang?
No, I'm not even sure. I just got told that some gang had some murdered a cop or some shit like that. Had pending files on the docket, were put on a hold, contested the hold in some form, and were recharged. But when they were recharged, it put the new sentence, which was like 60, whatever, 60 months or some shit like that, and they just walked out.
What? No, no, no.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. You get insta bail now. Is probably what they're thinking.
Uh,
Yeah, because
Man, I
murder
would've
is
loved
judge
instant
prescribed.
bail for sanguinile treason, and I don't think that prick Brian Knight would have ever let me walk out of that jail under that pretense.
I keep hearing that he put 60 people behind bars. There's no
He did.
shot.
He did.
What?
I don't know. You've been here a lot longer than I have. We're
Yeah.
talking at least 4 times the amount I've lived in Los Santos at this point, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever had someone? I'm gonna make a guild reference here because we're big World of Warcraft fans. There's a boss in that game that's been being hunted by this same opponent for 1,000 years, right? And this opponent finally catches up to him and puts him down. And before he dies, he says, the hunter is nothing without the hunted. You are nothing without me. And I think as time has gone on, I used to despise Night with every fiber of my being. But now I think with enough time, I've realized that him and I aren't that different.
Hmm. Hmm.
He was very good at what he did, even if he was a prick.
Yeah. Jesus.
I've never seen someone be able to convince judges, marshals, the fucking troopers, the government, the fucking shadow government, the Illuminati of a narrative as much as that man could for no reason. They just believed him. He was right in the end, but at the time, they just believed him.
Hmm.
That fucker.
Yeah. Feel like more I hear about these stories, more I realize whatever the fuck that guy did might be out of the reason why the justice system is the way it is. And
It could be, but I think let me say this. The way you're explaining the justice system to me now, people pretty much getting their day in court at the cost of everything, that was never what he wanted, I think. I think he just wanted justice. I think he wanted it even if he had to bend the rules a little bit. He wanted to get to the same destination every time. But even he had lines, To me, it sounds like those are out the window. It sounds like these kind of
it's
I don't even want to call it a mutual respect, right? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about criminals, talking about police officers and criminals here, right? Why should they respect each other? But anybody who's gone high enough in the ladder of crime understands that there will always and forever be a mutual respect between you and law enforcement agents, right? We used to talk about it back in Pegasus days, right? How are you likely to get away with misdemeanor, light shit, not get your car searched at a stop? You be respectful. You address them as sir, ma'am, etc. You answer their questions, you know, within reason. But that was the point, right? But all that shit, those days, I don't know, man. I watch cops get blasted for a traffic stop these days. I don't know where anybody's minds are at anymore.
Yeah, I think it's why I never really. I ended up taking down this path. Doesn't interest me, you know.
Yeah.
Trust
I mean, it's
me.
the same for me, right? Like, I thought when we moved back, yeah, let's move up here,
Mhm.
start another empire. Let's barricade this city. Let's make it ours. Let's make people afraid to come here. Let's do all that. And then as I kind of dug my, teeth into it, realized there wasn't much, there was a lot of fat, not very much meat.
Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like. I tried. I contemplated dipping my toes into some things. Started with Los Santos Customs, and then I just saw how everything was moving. It was reckless. I mean, there was like reckless way back when, right? But now it's just
Yeah.
reckless.
I mean,
Like,
the
and it's
problems we
not
had with LS
intriguing.
Customs in the beginning, too, was, I mean, we talked about this, man, and I don't know if it's still this way, but you got you trying to get a shop going, trying to get shit up and running, going to people. We're talking roadside service shit. And you got
Mm.
people talking out of the side of their neck saying, well, why would I do that? My friend who lives in a garage down in the south side can fix my car for free. It's like, come on, man. You're really going to trust Joe Schmo from the block to fix your car when you got a repairman coming out to you? Like, it just, I kind of ran into that same analogy at every turn, it felt like.
You know why I got put on pause, right? Dismantled.
No.
I went to a meeting with the mayor at the time, Max Thoroughbred,
Oh, yeah.
and he thought he was being lied to about Eve. At the time, Juno Sweeney, Eve's like sister-in-law or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something going on over there, and he's like, "What about Eve? Why isn't she one of your investors?" Great meeting up until the end there. I'm like, "No, she's not an investor. Who's saying she is?" And he goes, "Why are you hiding her name?" It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? She sells us materials. And it just went sideways from there. Yeah. Denied the business, 70 people out of work.
I heard that he wasn't a great mayor.
I can't really say because I wasn't too much around. I know he apologized at the end of it, but I was like, 6 months later, I don't really. It's whatever. You know what I mean?
How about you? You ruling Los Santos with an iron fist down there? Or
Nah.
you,
No, the city,
yeah, that was kind of his style.
No. I actually have respect. I'd say most of the gangs
in the
most of the gangs in the city would burn the fucking city down if I asked them to. Nice. I think they've offered the services multiple times over. By no means, and I think that's simply for respect as a consequence of it. You know what I mean?
What a world where the mayor of the city is more respectful to everyone than the people meant to keep the streets safe.
Surprisingly, PD respects me too, believe it or not.
No, I'm more referring to the fact that you show them respect, which is why they give you your breathing room and they allow you to do, your job unimpeded. We've had mayors that have barely been able to show their face for their entire term because they're afraid of getting hunted down. I don't think that's an issue for you.
No. I think I've gotten kidnapped once, and that was that was dickhead.
Yeah.
And
you think Forehead's crazy? He's the reckless brother.
No, 100%. Not again. Me and Dickhead have a very special relationship, so
yeah.
I think that's something that people have forgotten, how much respect means something. I mean, even gangs that go to war respect each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple philosophy, right? It's like it's a small island, if I talk out of the side of my neck too many times at the wrong people, I got to remind myself that I am going to see these people again and again and again.
So what brings you back?
Well, Delver caught our house on fire. So the internet went out, which, you know, in my room, that's kind of the only sign of life I have. If the internet goes out, I have to come upstairs and see what happened. So internet went out. I come upstairs. The place is scorched. I hear a fire engine outside, so I run outside. They had managed to put out the fire above us at the time. So come out, see him off to the hospital, go back down to my room, plug in my hotspot off my phone, and then I call Flops and I say, "Yo, is Delver all right?" You know, I sent him a text message. I haven't been able to get in touch with him. He goes, "Yeah, he's on a bed here. He's good." And then he says, "Oh, also Nino was looking for you." Now, I'll be honest, I was going to go back to bed, but when someone told me Nino is looking for me, there's no going back to bed until I've had a conversation.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear your name on the list of bodies. Or, well, not bodies. And I'm going to be honest with you, Trey. When I heard you weren't one of the victims, I went on down. That's when I heard, you know, I heard you were the one guy that survived.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're shut-ins. That's what we do. Bjorn's got his room down there. It's all barricaded up nice and tight. I mean, one of the firefighters said that he thinks the reason that like the fire didn't reach down is because we have so many doors down there in between us that it didn't create like a vacuum, so there was no room for the fire to breathe to get down there.
That's fucking crazy. What are your plans? This is
Not really
small
sure.
visit.
No, I mean, like I said, if the needles to be moved forward, I can be enticed. If there's objectives that need reaching that, I can be of help with, then I'm interested. But other than that, it's sitting down on my computer and working away.
Give me a couple days.
Yeah, I can do that.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not just the mayor.
I know. I think I'd be foolish enough to think that that's all you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll send a carrier pigeon when the time's right.
Yeah. It's been 12 years and hate to be that guy that peaked in high school, but I do miss the old days. You ever feel like you got everything you wanted and you actually missed the times where you had to work for things? You missed the times where you didn't know where your next meal was going to come from because it made it taste that much better?
I do. Now everything's on a silver fucking platter.
Yeah. It's almost too easy, and I don't think people like you or I are meant for easy life.
So I'm a politician now. I'm fighting the impossible, the fucking Department of Justice.
The impossible fight, yeah.
And I think that's maybe why people put so much trust in me. I think most would have folded after a couple weeks. Brett did. I haven't.
Yeah.
I make them go into hiding because they're afraid of what I have to say.
Good. Well, I'll wait for that pigeon of yours to reach up here, and then you can expect a call.
All right. You take care, Trey.
Stay safe, right?
And every phone call from now on, different SIM.
Payphone?
Or
right,
payphone.
Yeah, I'll hit you on a payphone.
All right. You
All
stay
right.
safe.
Later.
I'll never say no to someone who's like done so much. And I know exactly what Trey would be perfect for. He's virtually a ghost. People don't realize